All right, let's talk about a term that's absolutely everywhere these days: big data. We all hear it, but what is it really? And maybe more importantly, where does this giant digital ocean of information actually come from? Let's dive in and find out.
You know that feeling, right? It's a little creepy. You're just scrolling online and then, bam, an ad pops up for something you were just talking about with a friend. Well, that's a perfect everyday glimpse of big data in action. And every single one of those uncanny moments is fueled by data that has to come from somewhere.
So to help us get our heads around this, our source material offers this really great metaphor. Think of big data like rain. It doesn't just come from one big spot in the sky, it pours down from all these different clouds. And it falls fast, collecting in these huge lakes where it can be analyzed. So today, let's do a little cloud spotting.
Okay, so where's our first and probably the most obvious cloud? Well, it's the one we're all helping to create every single day, the social cloud. Let's make this super real. Imagine a company drops a new pair of sneakers. Now, back in the day, they would have had to wait weeks, maybe months for sales reports. Not anymore. Now they can watch Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of it live. By seeing what people are saying right now, they can tell if a campaign is a hit or a miss and, change it on the fly.
So this social cloud is made up of all the stuff we know and use. You've got the platforms themselves, and the data is every little interaction, every like, every share, every angry or happy comment. And the big prize for companies? Getting a read on customer sentiment. It's basically like having a global focus group that is running 24/7.
Okay, so that's all data we actively choose to create, right? By posting or sharing something. But what about the data we're generating just by existing in the world? The data that's being created silently in the background without us even lifting a finger.
And that question brings us to our second enormous data cloud, the connected world. You've probably heard of it as the Internet of Things, or IoT for short. Now, this might sound all high-tech and complicated, but a lot of the time, it's actually incredibly practical. Just think about a smart thermostat in someone's home. It's not just keeping the house at a nice 72 degrees. It's constantly sending these little packets of data back to the power company. And when you get thousands or millions of thermostats doing that all at once, well, the company can predict energy demand with unbelievable accuracy.
And we're talking about way more than just your Nest thermostat. The scale here is just immense. We're talking sensors embedded in factory machines, GPS trackers in every delivery truck, vital sign monitors in hospitals. All of these devices are constantly chattering, just spitting out a non-stop stream of data that's used to watch over operations and even predict when a piece of equipment is about to fail.
Let's shift gears to our third data cloud. This is one we contribute to pretty much every time we buy something. I'm talking about the transaction trail.
Every single time you click Add to Cart or swipe your credit card, you're creating a digital breadcrumb. And online retailers? Well, they are masters at following this trail. They don't just see that you bought a t-shirt. They see you bought a blue t-shirt at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday after looking at 3 other shirts. Now, multiply that by millions of people, and suddenly they can spot trends and send you those perfectly personalized offers.
Now, here's a really crucial point. Not all data is created equal. The stuff from the social cloud, all our comments and posts, that's what we call unstructured data. It's messy, it's human language, it's hard to organize. But the data from that transaction trail, that is beautifully structured. It fits perfectly into a spreadsheet, customer ID, item number, price, timestamp. It's clean, it's organized, and it's way easier to analyze. So far, we've talked about data that comes from people's feelings and people's purchases. But there's one last, absolutely massive source of data that most of us never ever see. This is the data that's being generated by machines to be read directly by other machines. And this brings us to our fourth and final cloud, and it is a giant. Let's call it machine-generated data, or if you want to be a little more dramatic, the ghost in the machine.
This is where things get really powerful. A modern car has hundreds of sensors, but they aren't there for you, the driver. They're there for the car's own computer and for the manufacturer. They're tracking everything: engine temperature, oil viscosity, tire pressure, and that data stream can actually predict a potential failure long before it ever happens, letting the car tell you, hey, you should probably get me checked out next week. And of course, this goes way beyond cars. This stuff is the backbone of modern industry. You've got sensors on massive factory equipment, automated systems in warehouses. They are all generating a constant river of data.
that's really focused on one main thing: efficiency, predicting when a part will break, and optimizing every single step of a process. Okay, wow. We've just explored 4 massive data clouds, from our own social media feeds all the way to the invisible sensors that power our world. So let's bring it all home and make sure it sticks.
So here's a quick recap of everything. Social media gives us that messy, unstructured data we use for sentiment analysis. IoT devices give us semi-structured data, things like sensor readings with timestamps, which is perfect for monitoring. Transactional data is superstructured, great for tracking sales and fraud. And finally, machine-generated data is a mix, but it's the key to maintenance and automation. 4 very different clouds, all raining down data.
And to really lock this in your brain, our source provides this brilliant little memory hack. Just remember these 4 connections. Social is for sentiment, IoT is for monitoring, transactions reveal trends, and machines enable maintenance. See? SMTM. Simple, right? So, there you have it. Those are the 4 major sources of big data today. But, this story is far from over. As our world gets even more connected, with things like AI and virtual worlds on the horizon, it just leaves you with this one fascinating question. What's the next data cloud going to look like? What will be the 5th cloud to form up there in the sky? Thanks for digging into this with me.